kausap po natin ngayong gabi, siya po yung tagapamuno ng House Committee on Justice. We would like to welcome again to our program si Batangas Representative Jervil Jinky Luistro. Magandang gabi po, Congresswoman, and thank you for joining us again dito po sa Facts First.
Good evening, Christian, and of course to all the followers of Facts First.
Okay, simulan po natin dito. No? Nagulat pa ba kayo na meron na namang dumulog sa Korte Suprema para ipahinto itong ginagawa niyo impeachment proceedings diyan po sa Kamara?
Well, if your question is kung nagulat ba tayo, of
Yes,
course hindi,
nagulat pa ba kayo?
sapagkat very much anticipated natin na talagang they always have tendency of going to the Supreme Court, no, to question any or some of the stages of our impeachment proceeding.
Hindi na kayo nagulat, no, nung sabi niyo dito sa petition na ito sa Korte Suprema. Pero pag-usapan natin yung standing ng mga nag-petition. So, mga abogado na identified with Vice President Sara Duterte. What do you make of that?
Well, apparently, kung ano yung position nila before about doing away with this impeachment proceeding, yun pa rin yung minemaintain nilang position up to this time, no? Kaya lang, Christian, from our end, this is accountability that we are trying to push at napakaliwanag nito sa ating saligang batas. So I hope that instead of trying their best to find technical issues, why not instead answer the allegations para magkaroon na ng kasagutan ang taong bayan dito sa matagal na nilang hinihintay, no, Christian?
But what if that precisely is the thing that the Vice President is trying to avoid? Yung
And that
pagsagot
is
sa
why,
petition.
oo, kaya nga Christian tayo, from the very start, we've been very, very cautious in our impeachment proceedings. Sabi ko nga, we are following the letters of the rules of procedures, no? We do not want to deviate even from the slightest requirement because after what happened in the first impeachment complaint in 2025, of course, we feel responsible that this time around ay magkaroon ng maayos na impeachment process kung saan maririnig na ng sambayanang Pilipino ang kasagutan ng ating Vice Presidente.
Okay. Sige, isa pong sagutin natin dito yung binanggit na rin naman ito ng kanyang mga abogado, yung defense impeachment team ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Yung di umano'y mini trial na kinoconduct ninyo dyan sa House Committee on Justice. Unang-una, ano ba yung origin ng mini trial na yun? Kasi correct me if I'm wrong, no? Ang understanding ko, ginagamit lang siya for media reports, for lack of a better term. No? Baka siguro mas sexy yung term na yun. But yung mini trial, is that really part of your procedures dyan sa House of Representatives?
No. As a matter of fact, Christian, I wish to clarify, no? Are they questioning mini trial because I used it during the interview? Or are they questioning it because that is what we're doing in the Justice Committee, no? Kasi for the first scenario, I admit that I used the term mini trial, but that is only in my intention to make it better understandable, mas madaling maintindihan ng ating mga kapwa Pilipino. Why? Sapagkat ang tumatak sa isip ng ating mga kapwa Pilipino Christian is the trial that they saw during the time of President Erap, the trial that they saw during the time of Chief Justice Corona, no? So just to make it easier for them to understand what will happen in the Justice Committee, this is smaller than the proceeding that happened in the Senate. That's why I called it mini trial. But not to mean that what will happen in the Justice Committee is trial similar to the Senate, no? As a matter of fact, to the second scenario, I want to make it clear na what will happen or what is happening in the Justice Committee is indeed a hearing proper, a clarificatory hearing, or a preliminary investigation. Let us remember, dito sa hearing proper, the justice members are acting as investigators. Our mandate is to determine the existence or non-existence of probable cause. And how do we do it? We need to test the veracity of the allegations of offenses and grounds in the complaints. At paano namin gagawin to? By trying to find other documents which can counter or test the veracity of the allegations in the complaint, or listening to the witnesses, asking questions, no? Kasi ito ang trabaho natin sa Justice Committee. As a matter of fact, Christian, right now, walang stand ang Justice Committee. We are just responding to our mandate, and that is to determine probable cause, whether the same exists or otherwise. At para magampanan namin itong tungkulin na ito, kailangan naming malaman ang katotohanan. And how do we find the truth? How do we test the veracity in the allegations of the complaint? Of course, we will have to question the witnesses who will be presented by the parties. We need to issue or exercise our compulsory process to check from the other documents kung totoo ba ang nilalaman ng impeachment complaint, no? Because at the end of the day, we will be voting, Christian, eh. We will be voting as to whether or not the probable cause exists. And to be able to do that, dapat may hearing proper na mangyayari. Dapat makita namin yung ebidensya. Dapat marinig namin yung mga witnesses, no? So, to conclude my explanation, Christian, yung sinabi kong mini trial in the interview, that is for the purpose of making it easier for the people to understand that there will be presentation of evidence and witness before the Justice Committee. Bagaman, the real thing that's happening in the Justice Committee is a hearing proper, a clarificatory hearing, a determination of probable cause, and this is different apart from the trial that will happen in the Senate.
Okay, if that is the case, do you think you could be held to account for using mini trial in an interview when in fact it is not part of your rules at the House of Representatives?
Well, since it is just an interview, and I never used that during the proceeding in the impeachment case, that should not be considered as a basis at all for any petition which will be filed in the Supreme Court or in any forum, no? Again, the reason why we use that during interview is in our hope na mas maiintindihan tayo ng taong bayan about what will happen before the Justice Committee.
Okay, kasi inisip ko po rito, no? Ang pagbabasihan dapat po niyan, yung nakasulat sa inyong rules, no? At saka yung actual na
That's correct.
ginagawa ng committee, tama?
And to add to that, Christian, no, for purposes of questioning the constitutionality of the proceeding before the Justice Committee, I think it is totally wrong to base it on the name, on the nomenclature, or on the label. The correct basis to judge the constitutionality of the proceeding is the actions which the committee is actually doing for the purpose of responding to the requirements of the rules of impeachment, no? Dapat ang pinagbabasehan hindi yung pangalang binanggit, kung hindi yung actual na nangyayari dito sa proceeding before the Justice Committee. And again, that is not a trial, that is a hearing proper, a clarificatory hearing akin to a preliminary investigation, which purpose is to determine only probable cause defined as justification to be able to proceed to trial.
Okay. Ano pong tugon nyo rin sa banat sa inyo, no? Tsaka sa iba pang miyembro ng inyong komite na naglolokohan lang tayo dito eh. You've made up
Well,
your minds. Nandun na yung numero at may impeach na yung Vice President. Kumbaga, you're just going through the motions.
Well, it is important for us, Christian, that we follow the rules. We look into the evidence. Kasi kahit pa mayroong impression, at ito naman dinidiscuss din sa Supreme Court decisions, that impeachment process is not only legal, it is also constitutional, it is also political. We are very much serious about evaluating and hearing the impeachment complaints because we are likewise answerable to our constituents to make sure that the decision of the committee is supported by evidence and therefore will be acceptable to our beloved countrymen, no? Hindi sapat na political ito. Dapat may sapat na ebidensya, dapat may tamang proseso sapagkat nakatingin sa atin ang taong bayan and we have to follow really the requirement of due process to make this acceptable not only for the committee but also to the people of the Philippines, Christian. And that includes the constituents whom we serve.
Okay. Ito rin, let's talk about the apparent inconsistency or at least perceived inconsistency in the position taken by those who want to stop these proceedings. Kasi last year, ang reklamo nila, hindi sila nabigyan ng due process. Ngayon, na you are being very, very careful, baka sometimes even to a fault, to follow due process and your own rules, pumunta uli sa Supreme Court. Are you also somehow confused?
Yes,
To the
of
point
course, Christian. Because you will remember we are part of the prosecution panel during the impeachment process in 2025, no? And we are very much aware na bagaman ang stand namin, we are compliant with the second mode of filing an impeachment. That is by signature of at least 1/3 of the members of the House. They brought the matter to the Supreme Court for the reason na because of that alleged express lane na violate ang due process ng Vice President, she was not given an opportunity to answer. She was not given an opportunity to present her evidence. She was not given the opportunity as well to verify the evidence of the complainant. No? So technically, Christian, the basis of the petition in the 2025 impeachment complaint is due process. No? And maliwanag ito na nakapaloob doon sa decision ng Supreme Court in July 2025. No? now that the second impeachment is here, the 2026 impeachment, we've been very careful in making sure that we afford the Vice President ample due process so that in every step of the proceeding, lahat ng opportunity for participation to answer, to be present, ibinibigay natin sa respondent. And yet, may complaint pa rin. This time, ayaw nila ng hearing. Ang gusto nila, as I'm hearing it from the news, may determination na daw ng form, ng substance, ng ground. Why not transmit immediately to the Senate? And why are we going to do that, Christian? This is the requirement of the Supreme Court. This is what the Supreme Court pronounced in its decision. Bigyan ng due process ang respondent, magkaroon ng hearing, i-verify ang mga evidence. And this is actually what we are doing right now. So, I join those people who believe na totally inconsistent ang nagiging position ng Vice President's camp because in the first impeachment, they're demanding for due process. And true enough, na-declare na unconstitutional yung first impeachment complaint. Now in the second impeachment complaint, we are giving all the opportunity for them to be heard. Yung due process na hinihingi nila, yung hearing na hinihingi nila, yung verification ng evidence na hinahanap nila, everything are being provided to them right now. And yet, ang gusto nilang mangyari ngayon, wag mag-hearing at i-transmit na sa Senate. How can we do that, Christian, when the rules of impeachment and even the decision of the Supreme Court in 2025 both require for a hearing of the impeachment complaints?
And I think the comparison is there, it's quite obvious, no? Yung naging basihan niya ng kanilang petition last year at saka itong panibagong petition ngayon. Which gives me the impression na hindi kaya takot lang sa mga ebidensya, kaya ayaw sagutin.
Well, it's hard to speculate, no? But, you know, Christian, sometimes things become so obvious, no? Kasi this is the second time already, no? In spite of the seeming readiness of the Vice President to answer the allegations, mukhang dinadaan lagi tayo sa issues of technicality. Even when there is no technical issue, pinipilit nilang mag-insinuate ng technical issues just to do away with the impeachment process, no? At syempre, tayo naman sa Justice Committee, because we are aware of the diligence and the caution that we've been exercising since day one of our impeachment proceedings, we feel sad na bakit ganito? Why not instead answer the allegations para to realize the mandate of accountability? After all, ito ang mandato ng saligang batas eh. Ang sabi sa atin, public office is a public trust. Public officials must be accountable to the people at all times. Then let us be answerable. Let us be accountable to the people. After all, 2024 pa itong allegations na ito. It's about time, sagutin na, and do away with discussion of technical issues. After all, the Justice Committee, in all fairness, have been so compliant with all the requirements, be it the rules of impeachment, the Constitution, and the decisions of the Supreme Court.
Buti lang, hindi po ako congressman dahil ako at least pwede ako mag-speculate na. Tingin ko kasi takot lang. Anyway, that's just my side comment. Okay, puntahan natin itong binanggit na rin naman ito ng kanyang kampo before na meron sila binabanggit na supposed double standard with the way your committee handled the impeachment complaints against the president and those against the vice president. Specifically, ang binanggit na sa petition, the assailed complaints were allowed to survive threshold review under a far more permissive standard than the House itself had just applied in the impeachment complaints against President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., and the process then escalated into subpoenas, hearings, and compulsory process designed to search for the proof the pleadings failed to allege on their face. Dalawang punto yung binabanggit dito sa, parang talino ng wording pero dalawang punto po binabanggit yan sa mga viewers natin. Dalawa lang, double standard, tapos fishing expedition. Doon muna tayo sa double standard, no?
About the double standard, Christian, no? There's a very big disparity between the impeachment against BBM and the impeachment against the VP, no? Yung impeachment against the president, there is no evidence really that establishes his personal participation to the allegations of offenses. Like for example, may allegation ng corruption against the president. What is the evidence? Ang sinasabi nila is the signing of the GAA. The corruption happens in the implementation. The signing of the GAA is part of the duty of the president. At hindi naman doon nangyari yung corruption. So what the justice members are trying to look for, ano bang ebidensya na nagpapatotoo na ang presidente ay bahagi ng korupsyon dito sa mga flood control projects? On that question, the complaint failed, no? So ang nawala is the evidence that establishes personal participation. Yun ang nawala sa impeachment against the president. Comparing it to the impeachment complaint against the vice president, let us take threat, for example, no? May video. Anong sabi ng justice members? Res ipsa loquitur. Anong personal participation ang hahanapin mo when it is the Vice President herself uttering the words of threat in the video that was seen by the whole world? That threat which is addressed to the President, the First Lady, and the former Speaker. So question of personal participation, it's there because it is the Vice President herself uttering words of threat and even saying that she has hired an assassin. Ang laki ng pagkakaiba. Let us take another example, the confidential fund. Dito pa rin tayo sa impeachment against the Vice President. Congresswoman Laila de Lima even presented the certification, no? The certification about the fund which was used in military training, something like that, for the youth leadership program. It was signed by the Vice President, no? And then during the hearing, yan yung idininay ng military officers. They said that we never received any fund from the Department of Education. So personal participation, Christian, it's there. Ang laki ng disparity. That is in as far as double standard is concerned. And that explains kung bakit itong impeachment against the President by the majority vote was declared insufficient in substance, while the impeachment against the Vice President because of evidence of personal participation was declared by the majority as sufficient in substance, no? About the fishing expedition. Yung issuance ng subpoena cannot be considered as a fishing expedition because the documents which are being requested through the subpoena are relevant documents to the allegations of offenses in the impeachment complaint. May direksyon, Christian eh. Ang sinasabi nilang fishing expedition happens kung ang documents ay walang relevance doon sa impeachment complaint. It is very clear in the rules of impeachment that during the hearing proper, pwedeng mag-issue ng subpoena, compulsory process of the existing evidence and other relevant evidence, no? Ibig sabihin, evidence which may not have been mentioned in the complaint but relevant to the allegations in the complaint. Other relevant evidence. That's what the rules of impeachment say, no? So for as long as the documents which are being requested are relevant to the allegations of offenses. Let us take, for example, the allegation of amassing unexplained wealth. Nag-request si Congressman Redon ng documents from BIR, the income tax returns, and even some certifications of audited financial statements from the SEC concerning the business establishments which were declared in the SALN. These documents are relevant to the allegation of amassing unexplained wealth. Because for you to know kung totoo o hindi yung allegations, you have to look into the financial records. You have to look into the audited financial statements of the business establishments declared in the SALN, no? So I totally disagree to the allegation that the issuance of subpoena is a fishing expedition for the reason, Christian, that all the documents which are being requested through the subpoena are relevant documents considering the allegations of the complaint in the impeachment complaint.
Okay. Pero officially, nakapag-issue na po ba kayo ng mga subpoena?
I think it is in the process of issuing the subpoena, the committee.
Okay. And since all this is part of the compulsory process sa inyong rules, no, ng komite, those the subject of the subpoenas have no option but to comply unless there's a
That is
TRO.
correct. That
Okay.
is correct, Christian. That is the nature of compulsory process, no? Pag sinabi nating subpoena duces tecum, subpoena ad testificandum, the recipient should really follow, abide by the order of the Justice Committee or the subpoena of the Justice Committee. And you are correct, the only occasion that they may not follow or obey the subpoena is kung mag-i-issue ng temporary restraining order at Supreme Court.
Okay. Kailan po yung deadline ninyo for them to produce these documents and for these witnesses to appear?
I don't remember having provided a deadline, but we're supposed to receive it before our hearing on April 14.
Okay. So basically, April 14 ang lumalabas sa
Yes.
deadline po dyan. Okay. Kasi iniisip ko, pwedeng itong mga ahensya na concerned doon sa subpoena, sa mga dokumento ipupuntos nyo, technically, they can wait until April 14 to produce the documents.
Mhm.
Kasi baka maglabas ng TRO yung Supreme Court, hindi po ba? Or, they can also send them to you earlier. Tama po ba?
Yes, definitely. Just like what I saw from the news, I saw the Ombudsman Boying Remulla, who immediately expressed his intention to comply with the subpoena duces tecum of SALN of the Vice President.
Okay. So kung makapag-submit na itong mga ahensya na ito, for instance, sa Office of the Ombudsman, sa inyong komite, bago yung TRO, so mawawala ba ng saysay yung subject ng TRO dahil naipadala sa komite?
Perhaps it will become moot and academic kasi nag-comply na itong ating recipients or respondents nitong mga subpoena dun sa order ng Justice Committee specifically for the production of documents.
Okay. Ano lang, no, iniisip ko lang, I'm putting myself in the shoes of the Vice President at saka yung kanyang mga tagapagtanggol. So susunod dyan, paano ko mapipigilan na pag-usapan itong mga laman ng dokumento doon sa inyong komite, hindi po ba?
That's correct. That's correct.
So in that case, I would have to go again to the court,
To the Supreme Court.
and ask for a temporary restraining order.
That's correct. That's correct.
Pala, no? Kung ayaw mo talaga
As a matter of fact, Christian, it is anybody's prerogative, no? It is everybody's right to go to the Supreme Court at any stage of this proceeding if they feel na mayroong issue of constitutionality na. But again, I maintain my position as Justice Chair that we've been very compliant with the rules of impeachment, the Constitution, and all the decisions of the Supreme Court. So I don't understand why there will be a proper subject matter of a petition to the highest tribunal.